Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Root Beer here with question number 21, the very first question in Part C on the 2005 Cayley contest. In Cayley land, which is just somebody messed around with the first little bit of Cayley. So in Cayley land, the unit of money is called the Cayley. Weird. In Canada, we don't. First of all, it's not Canada land, but we don't use the Canada as our currency. But whatever. We'll go with it. There are only two denominations of paper money: the 17 Cayley bill, and whenever I see 17, I can't help but think my dad maybe made this question because he loves the number 17. So we got the 17 Cayley bill and the 5 Cayley bill. In how many different combinations of these? How many different combinations of these bills total 453 Cayley? Okay. So we're not expecting a whole lot, just looking at our multiple choice answers, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're expecting very few possibilities to work with. All right, now we only have 2 bills. You can make this question harder by introducing different denominations of bills, but we only have 2 bills. So what we're going to find is we'll get one combination that works, and then we'll sort of take away a certain number of the 17s and add in a certain number of 5s to replace it. But that can only happen in certain amounts. Okay? Turns out we'll be getting rid of 5 Cayley 17 bills, and 17 5 Cayley bills will be added in place, and that sort of thing. But this is a nice little question. Variants of it appear all over the place. So the first thing I need to do is get a 453 Cayley. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of make a little bit of a chart. So how many 17s do I need and how many 5s do I need? So this is a variation of, it's very similar to something called the Chicken McNugget problem. But don't worry about that. So it's just something you can Google if you're interested in. So 17s and 5s. So let's grab our calculator. 453. How many 17s go into that? A little more than 26. So if I had 26 17s, that would give me 442 as our total. And I need 453, so I would need a difference of 11. Can I make 11 using only 5s? No, we're a little stuck there. So if I had, say, 2 5s, we would have 452. But that gives me a little bit of hope. What if I had 25 17s? Okay, we'd have 425, and then what would be left over? We'd have 28. So we wouldn't get quite enough. If we had 5 5s, we'd have 450. Okay. So is 17s the way to go about doing this? Do I want to go down to 24, or do I want to instead maybe focus on the 5s? I think I'm going to instead focus on the... Actually, we'll keep this, because this might be useful information. But instead I'm going to say, well, how many 5s do I need? So 453, divide that by 5, I get about 90. So 95s, well, that's 450 right there. Notice, incidentally, that if I had... There's no 17s I can add on there to make 453, but notice we have a connection. We have the same amount of money, but with different numbers of 17s and 5s here. I'll talk a bit about that in a moment. So what's left? We need 3 more here. And when I get rid of 5s, that's going to increase it. So if I get 89, then we'll need 8. And then we'll need 13. So I have to ask myself, 3, if I add on a whole bunch of 5s, am I ever going to get a multiple of 17? Let's think of multiples of 17. 17, 34, any of these that have a 3 or an 8 at the end will do. 51, no, but 68, yes. So if I had 4 17s, and then subtract off 3, we get 60, so we get 13 5s. So if I drop from 90 by 13, I would get 80 minus 3. So if I get 77 5s, does that give me what I want? 77 times 5 plus 4 times 17, we get the right amount of money. So we have at least one way to do this. Okay? 477 and 453. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to take heaps of 5s and convert them into 17s. Okay? So what we can notice, and I already sort of hinted at this, is there's some sort of conversion. We can take some 5s and turn them into some 17s. Well, how does this work? Well, 17 $5 bills will be the same as 5 $17 bills. I shouldn't be saying dollars, I should be saying yakly, but because both of these total 85. I'm switching to dollars. Both of these total $85, the amount that we want. Okay. Is there a smaller way to convert these? No, because the amount of money, if I could say that N $5 bills equals M $17 bills, then that would be saying 5 N dollars is the same as 17 M dollars. 17 has to divide 5 N, but 17 is prime, so 17 would have to divide 5, or 17 would have to divide N. That one obviously is nuts, so 17 would divide N. What's the smallest positive N that 17 divides? 17. Okay. In general, if I were converting between A dollar bills and B dollar bills, the smallest common amount of money between these two is called the lowest common multiple. And there's fun ways to calculate it, but we don't need it for the rest of this question. That's just fun stuff. If you want to look it up, least or lowest common multiple. Although, if you are seriously giving 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 on the Cayley a try, you probably have seen least common multiple at some point. The point is, if I get rid of 17 5s and add on 5 17s, we'll get 9 and we'll get 60, and that will also equal 453. And there's no combination in between. Okay, no smaller number of 17s and larger number of 5s will still do this. Okay, so I'll just double check. 9 times 17 plus 60 times 5, 453. And we can, we can keep doing this. Now there's going to be a limit because eventually we're going to run out of 5s. We'll have less than 17 5s. But what else can we have? We can have so we can have 43 of these, and then that would be 14 17s. We can check that one will work. We can minus another 17, so 33 minus 7 is 26. So we get 19 17s and 26 5s. And then we could do this again. We'll get 9 5s, and plus 5, 24 17. So actually, if I had gone down to 24, I would have been just fine. But if I try and go down, lose another 17 5s, I don't have 17 5s lying around. I've only got 9 of them. So this gives us everything we can do. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. And if you want, you can check each one of them. I'll just spot check one of them. 19 times 17 plus 26 times 5, 453. So 5 is our answer, and that is C. So we bubble in C, and we move right along. And the next question will be question number 22. So thank you as always for watching, and I will see you for question 22 in the next video.